Welcome back to Roll for Damage, Season 2. To start off our season, we're giving you 2 episodes in one. First, we're going to show you how to do a BATTLEMAT very quickly. It's not rocket science, it's just we're cutting a grid, we're going to get through that really fast. Second, I'm going to show you how to build the tile system with our EVA foam and how to lock it into place. So y'all stick around. Alright, so we're going to start with our EVA floor mats. 1/4 inch thickness. Very durable. So what I do is I measure out I measure to 1 1/8. Okay, 1 1/8. And I measure it this way, and then measure this way, okay? Once that's done, take my X-Acto knife, cut my grid both ways, but not all the way through, okay? But enough to break the surface, right? So I have grids both ways, right? But again, I did not cut through the back. We're going to take our heat gun and expand these. Just allow the plastic casing of your knife to ride along the ruler. You don't want to push down at a steep angle and cut all the way through your EVA foam. Let the blade do the work. I'm going to kick it on high and we'll just watch it expand. Alright, now that I'm actually prepared for the video, what we're going to do is I'm going to get this whole piece, break it away from me. I don't want to force it this way, I want to force it the opposite, okay, away from you. You don't want that metal to fly up into your face, and you should be wearing goggles. Lead by example. But I'm the evil overlord, I don't have to do things the correct way. Alright, let's get started. Nice, easy, clean cuts. That's key. Nice, clean, easy cuts. I'm hardly pushing down on this. Somewhere there it was. All right, nice, clean, straight edge. I don't know if y'all can see that on camera, but that's a machine cut because you're not forcing, you're not folding the foam by forcing it. You're letting that sharp edge do all of your work. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut all these pieces out in this same layout. I might do a large piece or two just because I could use some more of those in my actual inventory. So I'll be back once all these pieces are cut out. All right, so let's talk about the foam first. Now, I use EVA foam, and it's because it's what I'm familiar with, I'm comfortable with. Now, a lot of crafters I see use the insulation foam. And in a way, the insulation foam is so much easier to work with because you can carve it and you can whittle it down. You could imprint stamps into it. It holds images and shapes that you do very, very well. EVA foam, on the other hand, is obviously pliable. I can heat it; it'll stay that shape. But if you know what you're doing, with just a little bit of practice, you can get amazing results. So that's with aluminum foil. This will be the method I'm going to show you today. Here's the standard pieces that we just did. Here's my wood grain texture. Here is my brick. And here is a brick that is not painted. Or if you wish to carve it, you can carve it as well. So we're going to tackle this one today. And I'm going to show you how to do this because I want some nice worn stone work for this series that I have coming up. And this, by far, is probably the easiest to make out of all the ones that I showed you. It's the least involved, the least time consuming. So we're going back to my bathroom with my heat gun, grab a metal pan, preferably not your wife's best pan. Take it from me. That doesn't turn out well. All right, so we're gonna start with these Dollar Tree aquarium rocks. Any pebbles or rocks will do, but these are, it's $1. And we're gonna get this result. So this will be permanent once it is painted. You can alter it with a little heat if needed later. But let's get started. So we have our pan, and remember, don't use your wife's best. Use a little cheap one. I think I got this one from Walmart a while ago. And I just have these little rocks sprinkled loosely in the bottom. There's no specific pattern or anything here. I don't like it completely full because I like partial smooth surfaces on my tiles. I don't want it to look like loose gravel. And last, what I'm going to use is I have our hand soap dispenser, which is extremely heavy for some reason. So I'm going to use that as a counterweight. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this new tile. We're going to heat this tile up, put it face down onto the rocks, put the weight on top of the foam, let it cool. I'm hoping I could do this with one hand while I'm recording, so we'll see. Ooh, let's get it in quick. I'll put that on that side and then kind of hold these down, just because with one hand I just want to make sure that other side is being pressed on. So I'm going to give this about 15 seconds to cool, and then we're going to pick this up. Actually waited about 30 seconds, but let's see. Alright, so clear it off, and there is the nice worn tile with little pieces in it. Now you just want to give it a slight re-crack. What you're basically doing with that heat is melting the foam surface, so these edges on the inside, like deep in the crevice, can reseal back together. So you just want to make sure you're re-breaking it. So here are two pieces. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the rest of mine, and we'll be back. Okay, so here is our rock texture, our worn surface. And this is what I'm going for, but I'm also going to show you a different way where instead of this pitted look, you could have this look. This also is a much easier way of doing things, and it just simply requires tinfoil. So it's the same process. You heat it up, you place it down on the foil and press until it cools, and it gives you this random rock textured surface. So it just depends on which way you would like your tiles. However, like this will imprint with anything, so feel free to put whatever surface under that you like, sand, gravel. You can do it outside on the concrete, and it'll imprint the concrete texture. So it's just a really quick, easy way to get that done. Alright, anytime I'm painting natural terrain, I don't mix my paint completely because I feel like the variation in the actual paint helps the texture, if that makes sense. So I'm going to just sponge these out. I'm using the rough side of a Brillo pad sponge. This side would be to smear paint, and this would give it more texture. I'm not trying to get down into the recesses of my tiles. I want those to remain dark. So I'm just gonna sponge these out, and we'll see how these look. And we'll go from For this step, you just want to take each tile and make an incision just big enough for a dime to fit through. We're not trying to cut each little piece out. You just want one at each angle, or however you place the tile down on the mat, it has an option to place a dime. Okay, so we have our battle mat and we have our tiles that line up on our grids. Now, if you wanted, you could lock these in place. I use dimes because it's only 10 cents, it's reusable, and it's almost cheaper than buying something to lock it in place. And the American dime is our smallest currency, so it actually allows us to go really shallow and still have everything locked in place. So if you wanted, you can color the edges of the dimes black so they're not shown, but it's really not necessary. And you would just lay out your tiles how you want them to be and lock them in place. That way, if I'm moving my table, somebody bumps it, players get excited, everything's right where it should be.